Hello, all you wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people. Today, or more specifically, tonight, we will be doing a pickup video for March. Typically, I don't normally have this big of pickups in 1 month, but I ended up getting more stuff than I thought I would this month, especially at the beginning of the month. But now that has finally slowed back down, and finally money can go back into the bank account. um, but yeah, so most of it's going to be video games. I do have one little kind of, I guess, oddball thing in here that I recently just got in the mail today, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, we'll start out with the oddball thing, then go from my least excited to most excited. I think most of this stuff I showed off on the community tab post, but it would be nice to show you directly in video because a lot of people probably don't read the community tab kind of thing. So yeah, let's start out with this. So I do watch anime, and well, I've never been particularly a fan of, say, owning manga. It's just never been one to like really read. Well, I read, but when it comes to anime, I prefer to watch in action rather than read little comic strips. I say comic strips, but I just mean the format. But yeah, but I decided to invest in a series because I've been waiting for probably about a decade for a continuation on this anime, but it never came. That would be Noragami. I got the first 5 volumes. So the 2 seasons of anime, it actually covers roughly up to about the 10th volume of this series. This series just finished as recently as I believe last month. So it is done now, and there's 27 volumes. So there is a lot of content I am missing, and this is just one of my favorite animes I've ever watched that is kind of outside the realm of like the, I guess, mainstream anime like Naruto, Bleach, and Inuyasha. This is kind of one of the few times I sat down and watched something I never heard of and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm started to pick up the volumes of this to read through them. I don't know where I'm going to set my stuff, but this is going to be interesting. So let's particularly go to the PS2, or I say PS2, but let's go to the PS4/PS5 stuff since so a couple of these I picked up just because I saw them, but a lot of these came from a sale GameStop was doing a couple of weeks ago, I believe. Their whole 4 for $20 for $10 and under games. And then there was also going 4 for $40 for anything $20 to the $10 mark for games. So yeah, that's where a majority of these came from, and that's why this was such a big pickup lot. Now, a few of these games I don't have a heavy desire for, but I had to pick some stuff for the deal, and so actually when I was looking around, I kind of got rushed out of the store because even though I didn't have to rush, because fact is at this particular GameStop they only had one employee working, and so I guess he really had to use the restroom, and I guess GameStop employees are not allowed to use the restroom. Well, obviously leave the store unattended while people are in the store looking. So, due to respect, I tried to hurry up, and I ended up being one game short, so I didn't get the complete deal on one of my sets. So, and also, I'll mention something later in the video, but once we get to it. So let's go with what I did pick up. I should separate out the ones that were not a part of the deal. Okay. So we got on PS5 Soul Hackers 2. I heard it was kind of a hard game, but it's one of them. I mean, it's a Atlas game, so it can't be all bad, but so I'm slowly also trying to get all of these series. The Devil in Me, it's a part of the Dark Pictures anthology series. Apparently they consider everything they've done up to this point to be like season 1. They have plans for season 2, so that's exciting. I only own like 2 of these, so I still need to pick up some more. Also, so one more thing to mention. I am fascinated with the PS4, mainly due to I'm trying to pick up like games that were trying to pick up games like I was kind of a big fan of a lot of games in the 360 PS3 era. And not all, but a lot of them games, they were released on PS4 and Xbox One. And if it's been released on a higher console, I'm going to try to get it on the most to-date console I can, and PS4 is backwards compatible on the PS5, so that is a good thing. This game is just a random one I picked up. I like the artwork, but I don't know how soon I will get around to actually playing these games, because they're not really my type of games. Disgaea 5. It looks amazing art-wise, just I'm not a big fan of like real-time strategy kind of stuff. Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. I think this is a remaster of a game that was in the 360 era. I never played it though. This one interesting quick grab. Devil May Cry 5. Never played it. Never really played much of the Devil May Cry series. And I know it's really hard to see with that glare. There we go. The cat is messing with going in and out the door, so you just want some attention, don't you? Don't you? Okay. I've always been interested in this horror series, even though I never played a lot of horror games specifically, just because a lot of them revolve around resource management and kind of survival, and I don't really like survival games. So you could see kind of my disappointment in, in the past, 4 or 5 years, survival games have kind of taken off since, Minecraft. Which I like Minecraft. That's fine. It gives me enough wiggle room to where I'm not stressing out over if I'm getting enough to eat or not, or whatever. Either way, I just don't do well in them games, so that's why I don't play a lot, but I picked up the Evil Within 2. Would like to get the first one as well, but again, this was kind of limited to whatever GameStop had that caught my interest for the deal. Picked up this little Lego Marvel collection of 3 games. Hopefully they're all on a disc. They're probably not, but they might be, which would be kind of cool. So I picked this game up just because I heard talked about the Super Nintendo version of this and how it was kind of different than your typical sports game. I'm probably going to butcher this, but Captain Sabusa. It's at its core, it's a soccer game, but it's got very anime-like action scenes and stuff like that, I think. It will be interesting to check out. I'm always into them kind of offbeat sports games that are unique. So, I've always kind of been interested in checking out like I guess essentially you would kind of say reboot of the Assassin's Creed games. My cat has a lot of energy this morning, or one of them does, or tonight. Assassin's Creed Origins. Just the fact that it takes place in Egypt, I like the theme of that. And I think it will be a fun game. I'll explain later why I kind of fell off the Assassin's Creed games, but we'll get to that. Also saw this, South Park: The Fractured But Whole. Never played the South Park RPG games, I just know they're good. And they stay true to the show's comedy. This says free game included, but I'm willing to bet that that code is probably used. Because originally it didn't come with the DLC code for the game Stick of Truth, which is awesome. But I'm pretty sure that probably got used. So, I think my biggest surprise was I saw a lot of kind of JRPG games there that were only like $10. That's crazy. And with the sale, that means I got them for like $5 each. So, um, Tales of Vesperia, Definitive Edition. At least I hope it's the Definitive Edition, since it advertises it. Um, this was also a game that came out in 360 era. I remember seeing it and interested in it. I just never picked it up. I actually have this on Steam, but I like it better to just own a physical copy. Hopefully it's physical. Like I say, hopefully the games are all on these discs. Tales of Vesperia. Probably in future videos when I show off stuff, I might need to invest in like a second camera or something. One to kind of be like, if I can manage to rig it up, some kind of above table camera, maybe. That would be a lot less glare coming from the computer screen. Also have Tales of Tales of Zestiria. So a lot of the Tales of games were like only $5 a piece. So that was cool. This was surprising that it was labeled $10 and I got it for $5. Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. So this is like the HD remaster of Shin Megami Tensei 3, which is awesome. I heard great things about that series. So I've been meaning to pick this up for a while now. Like, it's been on my mind like for a few years. Actually, because this was when I really liked the Assassin's Creed games, the Ezio trilogy. My main reason for falling off for Assassin's Creed is because, well, that also goes into this next game, which, since I was in a hurry, okay, so GameStop, if I bring up a case, I expect you to put the disc in the case I brought up. Not sneak in one of your yucky random cases. I did not find out that till after I got the games home, and yeah, I am not happy about that. But this was Assassin's Creed 3 remastered. So I'll have to find an empty case or rebuy it just to switch out the case. So no real big deal, but still annoying. So I I don't want to use the word hate, but I do not like how Assassin's Creed 3 ended. So much so that I just stopped playing the games. It annoyed me that much. And that's because I am one of the few people that was really invested in Desmond's storyline, and I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I was hoping that the story would eventually lead to like a modern day Assassin's Creed, where Desmond, after learning all of these abilities that he would get from being an animus, and just, it would be a cool full circle kind of closing to that part of the series, and then they could do whatever they want with the series. But no, they decided to just what they decided to just kill them off. Because why not? Nobody was invested in that storyline. Apparently, nobody cared about what was happening outside the actual Assassin's Creed storyline, and I get it. That is a big part of Assassin's Creed. But yeah, I was one of the few people that I was more interested in what was going to be the turnout for the Desmond storyline in the modern world than I was with just being able to play in a history setting. Um, so yeah, this game kind of ruined Assassin's Creed for me. So I picked up Origins. I know Black Flag's the 4's a good game too. Just yeah, I took a big extreme break from Assassin's Creed after that game. And that is all my some of the few random ones that did not come from GameStop. Where did I get these from? I was just shopping at somewhere and saw this, but I can't remember where I was shopping. Picked up Darksiders 3. So, I picked up this just because I've been interested to play it at some point. But, also, on my journey to try to get my whatever 360 games I can on a more modern system, both Darksiders games 1 and 2 are also on the PS4 and Switch if I want to go that route. But for these type of games, I try to go for a more powerful system. Yeah, I can't remember where I picked up this game, but I picked up the remake of Shadow of the Colossus. Never really. I pretty much never played the original. I dabbled in it with the original. It didn't get my interest, but the remake looks so good graphically. And I can see myself enjoying it, I just need to actually play it. Which seems to be an argument for most of my games. I just need to play them. Alright, so now we're going to get into the more retro stuff. I'm going to save some of the more, because I do have some gems in here that I am excited to show you guys. A few of the games you have not seen because I did not post them. So yeah, I wanted to keep them kind of a hush hush. But yeah, so before, I suppose I should let you guys know the outcome of the whole video games monthly duplicate kind of game not working kind of game. They did send me 2 games to replace them games. They sent me Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. I have no clue how good that game is. And they sent me a relatively kind of classic Sega Genesis game, which is cool. Altered Beast. It's a nice little arcade. So yeah, that not as exciting about them games. Like, I think I was actually more excited when I got Excite Bike, but Altered Beast is cool. Just I wasn't sure I wasn't sure if they was gonna send me 2 different games or if they was just gonna send me an Excite Bike replacement, but I guess it's all about whatever they have on hand, I suppose. So, I do have a few NES games here. Um, so, the NES games I have, this falls in line with the series I'm doing. Um, I'm picking up games that we are going to end up playing on the series, or pretty much whatever the wheel decides, the fate of the wheel. So I did pick up a few NES games. We got Maniac Mansion, which was first picked on the wheel, but after playing it, we ended up deciding making it a traditional episode, but we are going to play through it at some point this season, so look forward to that. What you guys just seen, Tiny Toon Adventures. Fun game. I knew I would like the game, just I wasn't sure how fun it was going to be though, and it is a fun game. And not like it's spoilers since the episode's already out for what the wheel picked at the end of this. But I have Battletoads. Thank you, Fruit, for making me own Battletoads. Alright, so I feel this one probably needs a little bit of explaining. I have The Sims here. You will notice at the bottom, it's a greatest hits labeled version. So I own The Sims on PS2. I showed you The Sims on PS2. This disc right here is what was in the black labeled Sims box, and it was bugging me. So I bought a black label disc only, and switched it out. So this is my old disc that was greatest hits in a black labeled box, which I didn't catch when I was buying it. Alright, and to add a little bit to the original PlayStation, I had to pick up this game because I enjoyed the first in the series, and this was a sequel. Rampage 2 Universal Tour. This is where you play as different monsters and you're trying to rescue the old monsters from the first game. So, interesting. They actually had a little bit of story to it. I'll save that PlayStation game until about the end. But I do have a few PS2 games. So these ones, I'm pretty sure most of them I already showed on the community tab post. But here we go. Time Splitters, Future Perfect. I also made sure all of these were complete in box when I bought them, so don't really have to show you that. It's kind of thing I'm doing for the PS2 and PS1 is making sure they're complete with the black label, since that is what I'm going for. Then we have Dragon Quest VIII. Journey of the Cursed King. This was amazing on PlayStation 2. And the graphics hold up because of the art style they went with. They went with more of a cel shading than an actual, well, they didn't go try to be realistic. So that made the game hold up. I do own this on 3DS, but they're graphically or resolution wise, the 3DS is a very, very, very big downgrade to what this does. or maybe not a big downgrade, but it is a downgrade graphically. Even though they have a few extra special things in it, that's one of the reasons I own it, but I would probably more than likely play through the game this way than on the 3DS. I did add to the wrestling game thing, SmackDown versus Raw. Um, this is not the best single player storyline, anyways, as far as season mode goes. But I do remember actually owning this one. The soundtrack on here is nostalgia at its finest. We have Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. So, a movie tie-in game, or basically a movie based game. This does have a little sticker up here that I didn't bother try to peel off because it is way too on there. Army Man Green Rogue. I always like the aesthetic of Army Men. Like, I don't know what it is, but I like being able to play as like a small toy in like a larger than life setting for the levels. So, like one of my favorite maps off this is gonna be random, but Twisted Metal 4 on the PS1. There was a map on there where you played as in a giant kid's bedroom, and you were just like these small little Hot Wheel cars. I mean, they didn't look like Hot Wheel cars. They were just scaled down to be like these small Hot Wheel cars in this giant bedroom where you're attacking each other. So I'd like to get a few of the other Army Men games. I got Lego Star Wars the video game. So I have the complete saga on Steam. Why did I go and buy the what you might call inferior version? Well, this is the version I owned. And what doesn't come back in the complete saga is the hub world. The hub world was small, but it would have been nice if they included it in the complete saga version. Also, don't quote me on this. This is just purely from my mindset, so I don't know officially if something's different, but the computer AI-ness in the hub world, I feel like that got toned down a bit over the games. And what do I mean by that? So with Lego Star Wars, when you're randomly walking around in the hub world, each character is either aligned as a good or bad character. There might be some neutral characters, I can't really remember, but essentially you would be walking around the hub world and randomly see these characters fighting each other, just all random and stuff. And I thought that was cool that you could just hop in and just either help one or the other or get attacked yourself. I feel like that was toned down in the later games, and it does not quite feel the same to me when in the hub world. Like, it feels like in the hub world, in the later Lego games, the characters kind of keep to themselves. So, that's why I like this one. And this was my introduction to the Lego games. Specifically the PC port of this. but then I rebought it on a console, which I think was PS2. To note something, the Black Labeled, it's on a CD, while the greatest hits version of this is on a DVD. So that was an interesting thing I found out when researching, trying to find the Black Labeled one. I also got Lego Star Wars 2 because you need the sequel. You can't have 1 through 3 without 4 through 6. I don't have as many memories about the sequel. All my memories were with the original. And much like the Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith game, this also released before the movie came out. So, this was a lot of people's first look into Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. And then we go and see the movie to see just how close they got it. They did pretty well with the levels, with what they were given. Alright, so we got through a lot of the stuff. Now it's time for the more special stuff. Alright, so I picked up on the regular PlayStation. We have Dragon Warrior 7. Complete in box. Back of the case is cracked a little bit, but that's alright. The games look to be like in stellar condition, at least from the looks. Comes with both disc, which is a problem when I've bought this game in the past. Like at a convention one year, I picked up this game, but it was only a single disc. It wasn't complete. Also comes with a manual, which fun. It was promoting Dragon Warrior 4 coming in 2002 for the PlayStation. We never got it. Go figure. But I imagine the version that did come to PlayStation, it was probably essentially the 3DS version, but not only did I get this, this was an eBay auction. Also came with the Dragon Warrior 7 Strategy Guide, which is in pretty good condition, if I do say so myself. Got nice little maps, entire in-depth kind of walkthrough, more maps, even more colorful maps. Ooh, more maps. Yeah, gotta love the maps. Oh, item list. Bestiary. Yeah. Armor list. So, just to give you guys an idea of what I paid, I don't think I was gouged too much for it. I'm not going to count shipping, because shipping's kind of its own thing. It was just like a standard like $8 shipping, but so the winning bid for this was $93. So I don't think I got gouged too much. And I also picked up, because again, I have kind of a fascination with this series. So I picked up some of the Dot Hack games. Volumes 1, 2, and 3. I don't have 4, obviously. Not yet, anyways. I think I actually got a pretty good deal on this, because I gave I gave an offer to the seller for $90 and he took it. So I essentially only paid like $30 for each of these, and they're all complete with booklet and an anime disc. So um, I think I found a pretty good deal on that myself. But yeah, that is my complete pickups for this month. I'm actually probably gonna have to find a way to display these games because I don't know what I'm gonna do with them all, to be honest. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoy this. Um, but yeah, so I will see you guys in next episode of Three-Way Stop.